I've collected 30 fan designs for the prototype in Poppy Playtime. Chapter 5 Broken Things launches later this month, and everything we've seen so far seems to point towards an official full reveal of the prototype's design. That means that pretty soon all of the fan designs will be buried on Google. The same thing happened to Metroid Dread after that was officially revealed. All of the fan designs and covers just disappeared. So I snatched up every design I could before it was too late. Let's take a look. Okay, so this first one is pretty much the baseline for all of the designs that come after it. Obviously it's ridiculous, but it's in line with everything we know so far. You know, the legs that we got confirmation of, the kind of spider design, that's from chapter 4. The hands, like, you know, we've always known, so pretty run-of-the-mill prototype design, but still absolutely ridiculous. This is a completely different take. I mean, it runs off the idea that the prototype does only have one hand, because until very recently we only knew of one. So it would be quite interesting if the prototype was some kind of broken android that was shaped like a toy/human, but only had one arm. That's quite an interesting way of explaining how, you know, we only saw one prototype hand for so long. This one, like I said, very similar. This is the first of many designs that we see which incorporates multiple different characters in it. I kind of like this one, because I can imagine it translating into the animation style of Poppy Playtime very easily. It does seem like there's some degree of OC in it because of the head. Mainly it's some kind of wolf thing, but who am I kidding? All of these designs are OCs. So yeah, pretty cool. This is incredibly impressive, and honestly, I can't see this one being too far away in concept. The premise here is fine when it comes, you know, in terms of the full design. I feel like the head will probably be some kind of skull shape, and in general, just having this hulking spider-like design, it does seem to make sense. Obviously, probably without the saw or the drill, it's not ridiculous, and you can see like the hands are picking up the broken parts of the toys and everything. This is very impressive. I feel like this is probably going to be pretty close. Okay, so this is one of the earliest, from what I can understand, because it could have been made as early as like chapter 1, and you can kind of tell that because it has like the red maker toy machine with the door and the eyes and everything. It's a wildly different take, but the thing is, it also somehow finds a way to incorporate the hand, but in this context, the hand seems a bit obsolete. This is an interesting one that was taken from TikTok. Basically, one big idea around the prototype's design is that they will have multiple heads, and they'll be heads of familiar characters. So although this character is largely submerged, and the TikTok default text kind of ruins it, I can see echoes of this coming through in the final design, probably. Very close to one of the other designs, the hulking design with the big arm and the skull-like head. I don't know where the skull face type mentality has come from, but I can see it working. This image is incredibly small and low quality, so I'm going to try and squint while I'm looking at it. I mean, it's very Monsters Inc. in terms of like the bottom half of the design, and I'm not entirely sure what Catnap is doing up there. But again, you know, I'm going to say the word similar. Similar is the word of the day, because it has the spider legs, the robot cyber skull-like head. It's got the arms down. So, you know, it's the fact that this is in line with all of the evidence we currently have of the prototype's design, and yet it's so wildly different to every other fan design that's just fantastic. This is incredibly different, but apparently it's a prototype design. Someone's putting all of their eggs in one basket and saying, hey, maybe it's some kind of alligator crocodile type thing. Okay, I love this, but I don't have a lot of faith that it will be at all accurate. And weirdly, above all, the reason I say that is because of the head looks very puppet-like, and puppet as in FNAF 2 puppet. So, you know, there have been lingering allegations that Poppy has shamelessly ripped off other indie games. I don't like to talk about it because Mob is better than that now. But, you know, there are certain people speaking out about similarities to characters in Bendy, and a lot of people were very quick to dunk on Poppy for being derivative of FNAF. And I feel like having a face like this would round off the controversy chapter 1 to chapter 5, and that's something that they would want to avoid. Other than that, I absolutely love this design. Spider legs, arms, skull-like head. It works. It looks like something out of Paper Mario, and I'm noticing that there's like a circus hat on multiple of the designs that we've seen so far. Spider legs, skull head, and hands. This is great. I love the people that like go all out and do full drawings of their thing. Like, I know not everyone has skill of this capacity, and I will take designs that are drawn on a bit of paper because that's my limit. That something like this is great because you could tell they had a rush of inspiration either before or after chapter 4. And to put something together like this, like the dedication is insane. Hopefully it pays off for this guy. You know, it's ticking all the boxes, so could work. This is interesting because it kind of goes against some of the prototype evidence we've had so far. So this might be an early one around the time of chapter 1 or 2. I like that, you know, they're a very slender, kind of mysterious cloaked figure. Again, very Paper Mario-esque, with the hands, again, skull-like head. Very interesting. Very interesting. Quite a good design. Oh god, I can't remember if this is the only thumbnail in here or not, but this, okay, something I'm really going to miss when chapter 5 comes out is those fake fan designs that have appeared in thumbnails and clickbait images, because Poppy has had a massive issue, and I'm going to call it an issue, with fake gameplay fooling younger players or just confusing people in general. It's worse with Garten of Banban, but a massive contributor to that kind of culture in the Poppy community are these fake prototype designs, which is the focus of today. So it makes sense to incorporate this. Obviously it's ridiculous. I would be very surprised if it's like this. But again, hunched back, skull, spider legs, arms. How many arms do they even have in this? And this one has a saw, like the design that we saw before. Very good. It's almost like the head in this one is from the Miss Delight Woman thing from chapter 4. Quite good. Very good. And this is one of the only designs I've seen so far where I've actually noticed this straight away. There's bone on the arm. And that's always been true for the prototype, like a bone marrow type substance. Like, I know other designs, like even the last one, they had the rib cage, but the bone on the arm, that's a nice touch. Oh god, this one is from TikTok, obviously. This one just goes off the prototype being Huggy, but with robotic amputations and enhancements. Yeah, I have to throw this one in for variety. Okay, so you see what they're getting at, right? Like, it's a collection of characters that we've seen, and at the end of it all, there is the lemon that has been a secret that they've added to multiple chapters. I absolutely love this. This is what I'm talking about. Like, there's no way in hell the design will be close to this. I just love, because this took time for someone to make. Absolutely love it. Nice and simple. I just noticed the prototype hand was there. I didn't even see it. I was focusing on the other one. I'm noticing that the head happens to be the Mimic from FNAF. There is Candy Cadet. And also, I think that is the head of the coffee machine from Scott Cawthon's other game, The Desolate Hope. Yeah. I don't get this one. I think I just looked up prototype Poppy Playtime, and this is one of the things that came up. I mean, people talk about the Hour of Joy and things, so like there are biblical references in Poppy Playtime, and this looks like some kind of titan. So, I don't know, anything can happen at this point. I love this. I like this. Another different take, you know? And again, I wish I knew exactly when this was dated, because now we know there are like spider legs involved to a degree, unless it's all a big misdirect. But I don't know, maybe something detaches from the body and it looks like a jaguar slash dog slash wolf thing. I like it. One thing that's been consistent is that skull head, and I think the ribcage and the bone example that we've seen so far is the reason why so many people point towards a skull head. I'd be surprised if it wasn't a skull head. Okay, okay. Very Ennard-like with the eyes. Ennard again from FNAF. A humanoid design. Skull head, hands, with incredibly long fingers. You know, they followed through that bone human design aspect down to the legs as well. So that's something unique that this one has, among several other things. This might be the design from the person that we saw before, because you've got Catnap hanging out up there, but it's a bit more detailed, and I do like it. I really do like this design. There's also a player design I see as well. So, I mean, I guess we'll see what happens with the player design if we even get that. This is really scary, so I'm going to move on. This looks like something from another one of those art channels that we've seen, but it may well just be a drawing someone's done. They've gone full Afton on this one. You can tell. There was a lot of William Afton, again, FNAF inspiration here. I don't know. We have no idea about the head or face or eyes, and we know now from the newest trailer that one of the eyes glows orange, so the eye here could be spot on. Here's another one of those designs. No idea where the head comes from, but it looks like Lego. There's so much approaching my eyes at once when it comes to this design. Yeah. Strange new take. I don't entirely know what the thought process behind this one was. Again, I wish I could ask the people that wrote these, like, why do they think that? But yeah, it's a good one. Interesting one. Again, it looks quite Lego. Similar to the humanoid design we saw before, but weirdly it looks more like a nightmare animatronic from FNAF 4, and maybe it's stolen from that in some respect? I don't know, man. I mean, like, the discussion around what the head looks like is just killing me. This is insane, and I love it. This one, again, is a fairly early one that believed that Huggy was the basis for the prototype, or that the prototype was a prototype Huggy. And I like it, because it somehow still manages to find a way to integrate other characters. So yeah, very good. And that's it. Those are the 30 designs that I could able to find. Those are the 30 fan designs that I was able to find for the prototype in Poppy Playtime, credited where I could. And I searched for embarrassingly long to track down the identity or original location of all of these designs. I know that some of these were posted together on Reddit, so like in a bulk post, which didn't exactly make it easy to credit each individual one. But yeah, I love the creativity of this community. Absolutely love it. And I cannot wait for Poppy Chapter 5, where we get the official prototype design. Which one of these designs do you think will be closest? Mentally number them 1 to 30, or however many it was at least 30. And just write a number in the comments. Which one do you think will be closest to the official prototype design?